Welcome back to part 2 of this fasting and health glossary of terms. Please check out part 1 for letters A through H. I'll include the link somewhere. And please like and subscribe because now let's get to it and see how many words you know. Integrative medicine or integrated medicine looks at an individual patient's history and combines traditional functional medicine with a focus on nutrition, gut health, and other novel therapeutics. Intermittent fasting. It's an umbrella term for various meal timing schedules that cycle between voluntary fasting or reduced calorie intake and non-fasting over a given period of time. It's commonly used to describe daily time-restricted eating protocols such as 16-8, but based off of some studies, definitions, and my physician's use of the phrase, it can also mean doing an occasional or periodic fast. For instance, doing a random 72-hour fast could be considered intermittent fasting. Insulin. It's a hormone produced in the pancreas, which regulates the amount of glucose in the blood. The lack of insulin causes a form of diabetes. Insulin sensitivity refers to how sensitive the body cells are in response to insulin. So high insulin sensitivity means the body is using blood glucose more effectively. Surprise! Fasting can also increase insulin sensitivity. Insulin resistance. That's where the body's cells don't respond normally to insulin. Glucose will often have trouble entering cells and builds up in the blood, potentially leading to type 2 diabetes. Weight loss, exercise, and fasting can help reverse insulin resistance. Juice fast. It's often a part of detox diets and also known as juice cleanses. It's where a person abstains from solid food and only consumes fruit and vegetable juices. Keto. Short for the ketogenic diet, it's a low-carb, high-fat diet, typically restricting carbohydrate consumption to under 50 grams a day. The goal of the keto diet is to shift the body away from metabolizing carbohydrates to metabolizing fatty acids for fuel. Generally speaking, this occurs after glycogen is depleted and gluconeogenesis ceases. Keto fog, or keto brain fog, or keto flu. Its symptoms include things like headache, fatigue, nausea, and occur around the time the body makes a switch from glucose to fat for its main fuel source. Dehydration can exacerbate those symptoms in fasting individuals, so it's important to maintain your optimal water and salt levels. Ketovore is a less strict form of the carnivore diet, allowing for things like stevia and other small amounts of non-animal products. Keto rash, an uncommon side effect causing temporary red, itchy, and inflammatory patches on the skin. This actually occasionally, seemingly randomly happens to me and subsides and disappears as soon as I'm done ending a fast. Ketones, or ketone bodies, functions as an energy source similar to carbs and is created in the liver by metabolizing stored fat. Ketosis. It's a metabolic state entered in response to depletion or general low availability of glucose, most often associated with the keto diet and fasting individuals. You can actually monitor if you've entered ketosis with easy to purchase ketone strips. LCHF is short for low carb, high fat. Leaky gut, also known as increased intestinal permeability. It's a digestive condition in which bacteria and toxins are able to leak through and penetrate the intestinal wall, causing symptoms like bloating, food sensitivities, and fatigue. Liquid fasting. You guessed it, no solid foods and only liquid consumption. It can cover water fasting, juice cleanses, or bone broth fasts. Longevity. The definition is long life, but we also want quality. We want functional longevity. I think fasting is a tool that may help some of us extend the quality of life. And like calorie restriction, fasting has already demonstrated through mouse models that it can extend quantity as well. Magnesium, another electrolyte and essential mineral for the body, often mentioned with calcium, potassium, and sodium chloride as important supplements to consider during an extended fast. Matador is short for minimizing adaptive thermogenesis and deactivating obesity rebound. Essentially, it's 2 weeks eating with a 30% caloric deficit, followed by 2 weeks at maintenance or normal calories, and you repeat as needed. One of its goals is to reduce the risk of adaptation and reduction in BMR, often associated with the Keto method, calories in, calorie out, or other typical calorie restrictive diets. Metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Metabolic syndrome includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat, especially around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol levels. Metabolism. It's the sum of chemical reactions in our body cells that also importantly provides us with energy. Microbiome refers to the microbiota and their genetic material. Microbiota refers to the microorganisms, the microbes or bacteria in a specific area. M-Tor, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. It's a protein that helps control cell functions like division and survival. Importantly, M-Tor inhibits autophagy and is activated by the consumption of protein or carbohydrates. Obesity, the condition of being excessively fat or overweight. It potentially complicates and encourages heart disease, diabetes, mental health illnesses, digestive problems, certain cancers, sleep, and energy issues. Of all the diseases to have, it's something that you can definitely fix on your own fairly quickly and fairly decisively. OMAD, short for 1 meal a day. Potassium, another electrolyte and essential mineral. It is commonly one of the suggested supplements during an extended fast, along with calcium, magnesium, and sodium chloride. Plateau is often mentioned in reference to a weight loss stall. It usually happens after a period of successful weight loss and can be resolved with a break or a small change in diet, exercise, or fasting protocol. Probiotics are considered the good live bacteria that live in your body and promotes some health benefits. Prolonged fasting, aka extended fasts. It usually refers to fasting longer than 24 hours. Prolon, or the fasting mimicking diet. A pioneer in the science of fasting and longevity, Dr. Walter Longo from USC, created this product that you can consume, and it's meant to trick the body into believing it is in a fasted state. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim year during which participants abstain from food and drink. So technically, I guess you can view this as a 12-hour time-restricted dry fast. In the short term, it may negatively affect someone's circadian rhythm, but may improve homeostatic capacity in the long term. Were you paying attention earlier, and did that last sentence make any sense? Refeed mostly refers to the breaking of an extended fast with food. The longer the extended fast, the greater potential for complications, and the longer the refeed process should take. I personally like to break my fasts and refeed with fats, broth, and or eggs, small amounts with long breaks for extended fasts longer than 3 days, just to be safe. Senescence, biological aging or the process or deterioration of cells over time. Sickness behavior refers to most mammals' predilection to fast during a bacterial infection. Snake juice. Health influencer and trainer Cole Robinson created this controversial electrolyte drink to aid a fasting individual. It's made with water, pink salt, salt-free potassium chloride, and Epsom salt. Sodium chloride, also known as salt. People, probably the most important mineral to be mindful of during an extended fast, along with potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Starvation. This is the severe deficiency in nutrients and energy stores, both glycogen and fat. Fasting is different than starvation so long as the body has plenty of fat stores to last through it. Individuals with a BMI under 18.5 should probably not consider any forms of fasting or time-restricted feeding. TDEE. Total daily energy expenditure is like BMR in that it gives you a weight-maintaining calorie value, but it also tries to factor in your activity levels. Time-restricted feeding, also known as time-restricted eating. It usually references daily fasting with daily eating windows ranging from 1 hour to 8 hours. I actually like this phrase more than intermittent fasting, as the word fasting sometimes has this negative connotation. While time-restricted eating or time-restricted feeding more aptly describes what's going on. VLCD, also known as very low calorie diet or crash, it typically restricts an individual to 800 calories per day. Water fast, in its purest sense, only water. No tea, no black coffee. Some say salt and the other minerals are okay. Others say you can't even take your meds. I say don't worry about the margins. However, meds can complicate extended fasts, so do your research, speak to a clinician just to be safe. Water weight typically refers to the initial weight loss at the start of a fast and weight gained upon refeed from the body initially dehydrating and then finally rehydrating itself. It can deceptively impart positive and negative emotions if you're a scale hawk, so account for it beforehand. Well, that was a freaking long list. It was like a list Scorsese would direct. Anyways, if I'm missing anything, I'd really appreciate you leaving it in the comments down below so everyone can read it. Thank you for watching wherever you are. Let's cheers. Raise your glasses to health. This is bone broth, I swear.